There's no one in this group that should be broke ever, okay? There's too many things and ways out there to make money and hustle if you're willing to hustle, okay? There's no one in this group that should be broke ever, okay? There's too many things and ways out there to make money and hustle if you're willing to hustle, okay? I don't know about you guys, but I'm willing to hustle. If I had to go and drive Uber while I was getting my business started, I'd go drive Uber. If I had to get up at 4 a.m. and do a paper route or go paint freaking people's addresses on the curbs, I'd do it all, because being broke is an excuse to not get me to where I want to go to get to my goals, right? Too many people are using that as an excuse of why they fail. Well, man, you got a lot more money than me. Motherfucker, I didn't have money when I started. I started just like you, right? So don't use that crap as an excuse, okay? 1 job, 2 job, 3 job. I don't care how many jobs you have to get. I don't care if you got to go into debt. Welcome to business. This is part of the game, right? Part of the game. You're going to go into debt. You need to have a stomach. You need to not be risk adverse, but you also need to show up and take responsibility for what you actually said you wanted as a goal in your life. Okay? If your goal is to not work for someone or create a business model that is like so many of these people in this group that have went from 0 to these humongous numbers by learning this step-by-step process that we teach. Okay? If your goal is to do that, do not let anything stand in your way. Take all your excuses and throw them in the trash, because they're bullshit. They're things that you've told yourself or sold yourself that are keeping you stuck exactly where you're at, okay? Another thing I hear all the time is another mistake. I don't need to rant on this too much, but just from a matter of getting to your goals. I hear a lot of people that are in tough financial situations, or they're broke, or whatever the thing is, right? And they'll tell themselves, or they'll sell themselves like, well, I'm just not really that good at marketing. Dude, come on. You're not that good at life. Shit, that's why you're broke, right? And I'm speaking to you guys, and obviously I'm a little bit intense about this subject because, look, I realize that we all started in very similar situations, and we all have the exact same hand up when it comes to going out there and making money, okay? We do. Every one of us has the exact same hand up. You either want to go out there and make it every day and use your time effectively to go get it, okay? Or you sit on your hands, you tell yourself fucking lies about how this isn't for you, or how that's not for you, or how you don't have any time, or you don't have any this, or you don't have that. It's all bullshit. And until you get your mind corrected that we all are on this even playing field and no one's better. I'm not better than any one of you guys, okay? You guys, there's people in this group way smarter than me, way more technical with me, way more, they're pretty much better than me in all aspects, right? Including probably each one of you guys that's listening. There's a skill set, or there's something that you have about yourself that's going to put you in a situation to be great, but you got to be willing to go out there and work your ass off for it, and not let these excuses creep into your mind and keep you stuck where you're at. Being broke is not fun. Too many of you guys have been broke for too long, and you're okay with it. So I was at the beach in San Diego, okay? And there's this dude, I see him, he's like, I got a house right on the beach for our kids every year for spring break. We just got back. And there's this dude, he's laying out, I see him sleeping on the beach during the daytime, and he gets up and he eats, and we're blaring music, right? And so I see this guy walk by for like 2 or 3 days, and I finally went up to him. I was like, hey, bro, you want a drink? I'll get you a drink. Like, I could just tell you sit out in the sun, let me get you a drink. So I got him a drink, got him one. And then we're playing music, and we see this dude start dancing, and we're like, dude, this dude's got some crazy rhythm. Like, this guy can roll, like, he's good. So they're making dinner. I go over there, hop over there, and talk to him, and I sit down on the little pier with him, and I'm like, well, hey, bro, sit down. So he sits down. I'm like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 24. I'm like, why are you sleeping on the beach? And he's like, man, I just can't get back home, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, why can't you get back home? I lost this, or I lost my license, and I don't have a way to get travel, and I'm broke, and this and that and the other thing, whatever. I said, are you cool with sleeping on the beach every day? Like, you're okay with this? Well, man, it ain't that bad. It's not that bad. And true, like, at least he's a smarter bum than the rest, because people that live in Seattle that are bums are complete fools. Why the hell would you live in Seattle and be a bum when you could live in San Diego? So at least he's smart enough to go to the sand where it was warm all day, right? Or decently warm. Okay, but I'm talking to this guy, and what was really interesting to me, and what I wanted to share was, when you get to a certain level and you learn to survive, he learned to survive in this existence. For him, it wasn't too bad. He's like, look, I can figure out how to get at least some food. And I sleep during the day where it's warmer, and then I figure I just kind of roam and whatever. But it was just interesting to me because I see that in so many different people at all different income levels. Okay, where they hit the top of their ceiling, and then they just are cool. Or maybe they're not even excelling. Maybe they're just over broke, right? And they sit there for so long because they've learned to live at a comfortable enough existence. And maybe it's not always comfortable. Sometimes it's maybe majorly stressful, or you look at other things and you're envious, but it's not that bad, right? It's not horrible, right? And even when you're at the lowest of the lows and you're a bum on the street, like this guy was, for him it was like, because I asked him, I said, if I give you a job right now, you willing to take it? Well, what does that entail? I'm like, it doesn't matter what it entails. It entails not living as a bum any longer, right? And anywho, long story short, for me, the conversation as someone that thinks and works with so many different entrepreneurs out there, for me, it was this eye-opener of every one of us, including myself, hits a certain level of comfort or even uncomfort, but we begin to be able to survive and exist in it, and we never break back through it because it's not so bad. It's not so horrible. And so we don't put ourselves in situations, ultimately, that will excel us because we've learned to survive and exist there. So I thought that was a really important thing, speaking to someone who's at the bottom of the barrel as far as from an income standpoint, not dancing, he was a great dancer, income standpoint, and living in this like horrible thing or horrible existence in my opinion, right? But he was not that worried about getting out of it because life wasn't so bad. It was whatever. So don't let yourself exist, okay, forever. Maybe you got this job that doesn't pay enough and you stacked your bills up, or you put past debt together, but you've learned to survive. You've figured out how to get enough food on the table where you don't starve to death, and you got water and maybe a shelter over your head. But don't stay there just because you're comfortable with existing there.